You see, way back in the days when hip hop began, with Coca Rock, Cool Herc, and then bam, B boys went to the latest jams, but when they got shot up, they went home and said, there's gotta be a better way to hear our music every day. People getting blown away, but coming outside anyway, right? Shout out to the teacher. That's the teacher right there. When that song dropped, like it changed the game. Right? That was the one that I was attracted to the most. Um, Shout out to the legend, Spenny Bang, good friend of mine back in high school. It was around the neighborhood, but we went to high school together. Um, we used to drive the orange. He used to have an orange Mustang. Used to drive the Northeast High, and but before all that, you know, well, that's when that came out. We used to drive listening to Criminal Minded together, and he used to love Bigger and Deffer too. He was a big LL fan, so like Bigger and Deffer might have been his number one album. But that Criminal Minded, you know what I mean? Especially that track there. And I knew Chris was come bringing something different to the game. Um, Knowledge reigns supreme. Like, he was really bringing something different to the game. LL was, you know, he was a throwback to the old style, you know. It still is. I love LL, you know, but I you know, whatever. And that's just a whole nother, you know, conversation. You know, LL versus KRS One, but I started that with Bigger and Deffer versus Edutainment, but nobody wants to touch that one right there, because I put I Need Love versus Love's Gonna Get You. So y'all know the differences between those two songs. One is materialism, the other one isn't, right? And there's so many philosophical discussions, you know, that therein is the psychology versus philosophy, or uh, love being like, you know, the mental versus the metaphysical or the spiritual, when you're talking about the man and the materialism that we all caught up in, right? So, and we'll get more into and deeper into those discussions, just like that. I mean, I'm talking about two rap songs and how deep we can go with the conversation, in analyzing those two songs in a battle against each other in so many terms or ideas. Now, you know, most people don't want to have a conversation like that. They don't think rap music is that deep mentally, physically, or spiritually, and in so many arguments. They want to push and promote the sexual deviancy of lusting for the material, and therein it's like, nah, that's rap. That's something we just do. Hip hop, that's something we live. When we start really writing our lyrics on how we live in, I mean, we can get real deep in the conversation. And that was LL's 14 Shots to the Dome. Like, that's the album that I was like, yo, L, that you was on the right pace, but you was over our heads a little bit too much. But I liked it. I love that album. I think it wasn't as, I mean, because you went from Mama Said Knock You Out, which was more Marley Marr at his finest, and you had LL at his finest. So Mama Said Knock You Out, it is a top 5 album of all time for me. But then that 14 Shots to the Dome, it was a real experimental album, especially lyrically for LL. Like, LL was getting into the Daisy Age, you know, kind of rap. When, like, Daisy Age meaning, you know, Jungle Brothers, Tribe Called Quest. That's I'm kind of moving too fast. De La Soul, you know, even Queen Latifah. That now you're dealing with that Daisy Age rhyme and who's the goats? Diggable Planets. You know what I mean? Where that's like, when you look at the lyrics and be like, what in the world are these people talking about? And it's not that like Chris wasn't down with that, like Boogie Down Productions wasn't down with it, because they most definitely was. Because then you're dealing with Ultramatic MCs and Kool Keith in them. You know, when you look at the lyrics and be like, what in the world are they talking about? You have to look at it and read it and study it and like repeat it. You have to be able to spit it really and then you'll start. Wait a minute, you know something? They might be saying something that's like completely out of this world. That's real dope, and that's what made those groups that I'm talking about so great. And it really influenced rappers from the street and the hood, like Ice Cube and Common. So Ice Cube and Common come straight at you with uppercuts, but then Common, got a little Daisy Age in them. Even Ice Cube did in some ways. But yeah, Ice Cube has always been. I got a knife in my back pocket, and and I got my fists, like, so we can battle however you want to, like the streets. I don't care, and that's the genius of Ice Cube. And even Chuck D has a little bit of that real abstract rhyme to him. Like Chuck D is one of the original street abstract rhymers. There it is, and you say, man, this is a dope jam. I'm just grabbing something out of the air, but I'm not gonna go there with Chuck D yet. This is Volo modulus tautology. I know I just went through a whole rant, and some people don't know what I'm talking about, because rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live, right? Like it's what you have, what they give you, and then you have what great MCs like Chuck D, who's, I think he might have been born in 65 or so. I don't know everybody's dates, but he's like a borderline baby boomer, same with Keras One. Like these are my older brothers. I'm a 71 baby, so I'm Generation X. But a couple of them, are born before that break, and they're actually baby boomers. But they are my mentors, so I treat them more like a bigger brother than I do an elder, should I say? It's like I'm supposed to treat what's his name? And I don't want to harp on some of the hypocrisy of what comes out of their mouths, but and I don't want them to be confused with martyrs like Fred Hampton. That's where, even because a lot of people that come out of the 60s, and the 60s was the movement, the civilization right movement that inspired us to create a hip hop nation. It's a culture. Hip hop is an American culture created by the children of the 1960s civil rights movement. So when I'm talking about Al Sharpton, right? That's who I was trying to think of. Yeah, he's my elder brother, but yes, he's a pimp knucklehead. So he used to come out and hustle in the 90s, and him and Trump was cronies, and he got caught out there hustling back then, and and he got his hand caught in the cookie jar again. This Kamala thing where he made 500 million or whatever, 500,000 or whatever. And it's like, yo, our families are getting evicted from their homes, they're getting divorced, they're getting aborting their babies, and all this stuff, that these policies that y'all putting backing. And it's like, dude, we keep telling you, stop hustling us, instead help us to build around here. So, some of us only need, 5K, or a K, 1,000, whatever it is, to, hey, I need 1,000 right now to get my life back in order, or whatever. And you got your hand caught in the cookie jar, and you can't help us, right? And you're not helping us because you still want to be on the platform of trying to rebuild the devastation that's going on with the Democrat Party. But that's a whole nother conversation. Right now, I'm just sitting back, just watching the Republicans and Trump and them, and saying, okay, that's cool, and keep it moving, right? I'm still asking them, hey, give me a stack so I can go get my life back. You know what I mean? So if they send me a stack, they'll send me a stack. You know what I mean? All I ask from my listeners, since I'm doing my podcast again, is $1. So send $1 to $sign Volothamp. Or hit the like button. You can always just do that. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and every little thing helps. Communicate. If you put something in the comment section, you have a question about something, about, hey, what is your podcast about? And this right here is what my podcast is about. As you can see, it's called Xeno Chronicle. Um, I'm playing it on the Wii U. I'm hearing rumors that they're going to bring it back on the Switch. And this is one of those games that I'm trying to help my son understand why I put the Wii U above the Switch. If I'm to rank the greatest Nintendo, well, I'm a Nintendo gamer. So, back in 1987 or 87. Yeah, back in 1987 is when I bought my Nintendo. I mean my NES, regular plain old NES. I think my man Eric already had E-Double, rest in peace. He already had one. And a couple people already had them, and I'm saving up my money from working at Kmart at the time, and whatever side hustle I can do, whatever. Nothing illegal. I'm not one of those trying to sell illegal products in order to get a come up. Yeah, I might have got a little help or whatever, because my friend worked at Toys R Us that I got it from, so I got an employee discount, But other than that, it was strictly legal and everything. But we're dealing with a society that goes, those rappers are illegal, and that's where we're looking at the hypocrisy of like Barack Obama, because it's yes, Barack Obama and Jay-Z and P. Diddy was friends, and they tried to put him on to what hip hop culture is, so that we will go out and vote for him. And yes, they all, you see them all getting in trouble and being betrayed, and because they betrayed us. So Barack, yes, he did betray us because he demonstrated it, because it's begging for money to promote policies that go against the nuclear family. Him allowing ignorant psychologists to create terminologies like heteronormativity to be the bad guy, to make the father the bad guy, and so now you have people in places of with certain groups, woke folk or DEI hires, they're giving them permission, positions of human resources and power like that. So a heteronormative father knows best, quote unquote, isn't good for the company. And we have to fight each other in order to help. And this was the past 4 years, and I can reiterate this over and over again. And then people have the nerve to, hey, look in the mirror and say, oh, no, I don't do that, because all we can do is walk the path, and Allah lays a left and right in front of you, left or right, and you just make your decision, left or right. So that's what happened, and I'm a lot more black people chose right than left, but of course they figured the numbers, and I can explain it to you, to anybody, to how exit polls actually work and how statistics actually work when you're looking at the mean median mode of the statistic on whether or not it's a basis or not. And that's just the way it is. So I'm just playing around with this. So, but there it is. I gave you a little pause and a little time to, you might have to rewind and see if you get to understand that, or hit comment underneath. And I love responding to questions, and I'm not responding it with any judgment of intelligence or ignorance. I'm just responding, and hey, I'm gonna help you understand what we're trying to do over here, and what's going on. So, I mean, I'm just tripping off the way this game comes on. This is a cool game. I don't know if it's Earthlings traveling through space, what time they left Earth, kind of a thing. So I think this version of the game is in the future. There's other versions. Well, the timeline, I got to look more into it. I played Xenogear. Oh, this is, which one is this? This one is Xeno Gears. No, this is Xenoblade. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicle X. There it is, right? I used to play Xenogears, which is like on the, what was that on? The PlayStation? Now that one I think took place in the past. So, but they're all kind of a fantasy, this is more like fantasy science fiction. Um, Star Wars takes place in the past. So it's fantasy science fiction. Whereas Star Trek takes place in the future. So you're talking more like prophecy science fiction. It's not really fantasy, even though things that happen in space are kind of fantastical or whatever, right? when dealing with Star Trek, So that's the difference, Oh, so this one's talking about some 2054 AD. So this is in a couple years, huh? It said 2054. So I mean, for us to get the technology there in 20 years is kind of dope. Like, look like NASA got to get it working or whatever. Y'all need to hire more game theories. Game theory is that's the study that I'm studying, and me and my son is working on, and it has branches in strategies, which will be more like socioeconomics or financial economics kind of a thing, to game, actual video games and video programming or artificial intelligence. It will have aspects in that. There is an aspect of game theory in artificial intelligence if you want to really, really think about it. And what else? And just playing old games, or rolling some dice, playing Dungeons and Dragons, playing a game of Monopoly, playing a game of Stratego, playing a game of Risk, playing a game of chess, Uno, regular bridge, crazy hearts, crazy eights, hearts, spades. Any of my spades player. I haven't played spades in almost 20 years. Y'all might have to remind me on the rules, And I'm not the one that be cheating, so I don't renege. So shout out to B. So I'm just spitting the gap and trying to fill in the gaps for those that follow my page, know what I'm rapping about, and where we're trying to head with this and what we're creating. Something alternative to the typical history that they want to tell us. The typical history is hate the past. Like, nah, I'm not hating the past. Y'all corny. Like, that's the real problem. It's because what be going, like, nah, that's shut up, Kamala. That's not how it is. It's not hate the past. It's accept the past for what it was. Now let's build today for a better tomorrow. That's how it actually works. So yes, they wrote back in 1776 or whatever. When I'm just grabbing that date out the hand, but that's the Independence, Declaration of Independence, right? They wrote the Declaration of Independence, and in the Declaration of Independence, it said 3 key things in the first paragraph. 1, our people. It was talking about Americans, the people in America, in the 13 colonies. That's what it was talking about, our people. 2, or really 3, right, was 2 things. 1, we're talking about the laws of nature and nature's God. Those are the people that we are talking about. The laws of nature are the people that believe in an atheistic view of life. There are certain laws of nature that we need to adhere to. The other people are nature's God. We are the ones that have our biblical text. And this biblical text is what we live our lives by. Those that don't want to respect our biblical text, we're not cool with y'all. You know what I mean? Yeah, you slap us, we're going to turn the other cheek, slap that cheek. But you hit me twice, you might want to get ready to feel the wrath. Like Muhammad Ali, right? Chris got it. That's why he gave me a love. And I love you, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Happy belated, well, not belated. I did wish Nate a birthday. Happy birthday. His birthday was a couple of days ago. My brother, his birthday was yesterday. Reese, my other brother, Il Product, his birthday was, a couple days ago, or a couple, weeks ago. Not a week or two ago, right? The 18th of November. And that's what we used to just do on Facebook, just celebrate each other's birthday and Thanksgiving and just holidays and keep it moving. When it started getting all psychological and philosophical, and it's like, all right, cool. And then I got my teacher over here saying, I'm ready to get metaphysical. And it's like, oh, Karis, so I'm going back to that medical physical again. And then, me, I was like, what I'm going to do? What's my lane? And then that's when I saw that epistemology. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be that epistemology. That's me, bringing my style. That got the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in it too. So, we can go. If y'all want to really go, we can go. Because the Hip-Hop Atonement of Tautological Epistemology, that's the acronym for hate is real. Now, where I go with it is God is leading the way, and I hope y'all enjoy it. I gladly explain it. I'm not really going to play this. I just came to this because I already saved something, and I'm kind of confused why I'm not where I wanted to be on here. But I'll play this game a little later on. Now, I can create a brown skin character on this game. That's one of the options that you really didn't have, say, 20 years ago. But games didn't look like this 20 years ago. That's the other side of the argument that we're trying to help the race baiters understand. Like, we get it. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 was all technically white characters. It wasn't until Final Fantasy 7 where Barrack, I think his name was, first came on. So he was the first quote unquote African-American character in the Final Fantasy series, but he was more Hispanic, I think, in the later editions somehow, right? And therein is the xenophobic colorism that the woke is trying to implement on us. And I'm ironically playing Xeno Blade, to make fun of the ignorance called Xeno, not Xeno, but xenophobic, and the phobias of homophobia and transphobia, and like we're afraid of everything except for that which a computer that only understands as being illogical. But I know God is real. Atheists, they, most of them are agnostic. So, I'm more Gnostic in my view or explanation of, hey, I can prove it. It's just that when I start spitting that set theory, it's like, well, set theory doesn't make sense, but I got to use some little bit of abstract ideology to help people understand the set theory. And then I have to draw it using Venn diagrams to help put the mathematics together. That's even before I start using real numbers. Then once I start using the real numbers and showing that, hey, this is how the numbers come together. This is and we take these different colors or elements or members, and yes, they can be just intelligence or they can be emotions, whatever, hip hop you want it to be of life. And boom, there it is. That's the truth. I proved it using mathematics, demonstrated it, Like Leonardo da Vinci said, you got to be able to demonstrate it in order to be proof. And then there's the proof right there. But if y'all not willing to learn the language, like English and language arts, which is American, I'm wasting my time, you know, because you don't trust. Without trust, you know, you really can't hang with us. But you know what I mean? We cool. That's what the teacher was trying to say. See, Houdini and them was back in the day, they was just letting you have the basics on it. Friends, how many of us have them? Friends. Before we go any further, let's be friends. That's how Houdini used to say it, right? Then Karis One came on and was letting y'all know, hey, we can count the dough, kick a flow, chill out watching videos, act really silly, yo. But really, though, all that can end. Whoa, like nobody's guaranteed the next second, really. You know what I mean? So the teacher took it to a whole new level. Houdini started it off way back in the 80s with friends, right? Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. The kids, they know what I'm talking about, but they don't unless they did their homework, unless they know their history. My son knows the history because we practice it together, you know? So my son knows when I go, God is love. Well, let's say, yeah, God is love. Hip hop is life. But I don't want to talk about money just yet. No, I've been doing the one God, our Father, Art of Time, Hip Hop Life, Love One, right? So I'm doing it in that kind of order to start off with God and end with love. God is love, right? So what Houdini was saying in the classic One Love back in the back in the 80s, the words love and life, both love and life, right? Both have four letters, but they're two different things altogether. Because I've liked many ladies in my days, but just like the breeze, they all blown away. Like he's talking next level of relationship between loving, liking, and life. It's the devil that added that lust to it, like the fourth, whatever that is. Like that's kind of how money is. It's like the fourth, whatever. I say it's a dimensional illusion that doesn't really exist. But we want to act like lust and money is something concrete and tangible when actually it's really not. Right? God is tangible. It's just some people believe, some people don't. Are y'all starting to people on how actually hip hop really is? I mean, more lessons to come. Yeah, I was going to demonstrate this game, but I was at the wrong place, and you know what I mean. So I'll come back to Xenoblade Chronicles X with a better explanation. But no, this video isn't really for my son. This video is for you, right? If you made it to this point, now you kind of understand more of what I'm talking about when it comes to hip hop, what it really is. See, they're going to tell you that it's the N word, right? That's what I shared underneath this video on Facebook. That is the N word, right? So when I shared the video, like, you want to say it, don't you? Go ahead and say it. You can say it. It's America. You can say what you want. Like, that's what it is. What made America great is that you can say whatever you want, right? But now they acting like we're the ones that the bad guys for saying it to each other, right? Look at they dumb, they ignorant because they keep calling themselves. But if we say it, then they're gonna beat us up like Muhammad Ali, right? It's like, nah, we not. We're just gonna call you to you right back. That's the genius of Wu-Tang, because Wu-Tang came in and they start calling the cops, instead of calling them pigs, they start calling them blue ninjas. Blue was giving them authority. Ninjas mean, they thieves too. They just like us, right? But they think they got authority. Only God really has authority. No, I know I keep losing y'all. I know it doesn't make sense, but you have to listen to it a couple times. Do your math homework. Use your T's for true, F for falses, look at your and, or, if, then, if and only if, right? Therein is how you program in beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code, basic. And yes, you can make an artificial intelligent program out of basic. Yes, it's easy. It's not hard. And a primitive computer can, quote unquote, actually think, even though it's not actually thinking. It's staying within the construct or the content of the program. This has been a quick 30-minute discussion with Volo modulus tautology. Hope you enjoyed.